This is lead detective Jeffrey Bellica. I'm here on my day off because we actually have a witness for the whereabouts to the criminal mastermind himself, Tyron Polinsky. Now, the person in front of me isn't on best of terms with our great holy city. Alright, for the record, tell me your name and your occupation.
Alright. Yeah, the name's Alex Gideon, and I'm a researcher.
A researcher. Alright. So who are you employed by?
Well, I guess now I would be employed by the Decker Foundation, or to be more exact, the Decker family itself.
Okay.
But the person that hired me to do this job for them was my master and also my mentor. He goes by the name Fang Mao.
Fang Mao. I don't have anything on record about a Fang Mao. Alright. We'll get back to that in just a second. Now, you said that Fang Mao got a contract through Decker, the Decker Foundation or the family, and you were the person he sent to do what exactly?
Well, to be more specific, I was hired to teach the young Decker, granddaughter Decker to be more exact, to train to do her own research, to run her own expeditions, and eventually, finally, to run the entire company, which in turn led me to the information I know now that I'm presenting to you.
All right. Now, there is one thing that comes to your story we've already checked out, which is this part that you just said. Yes, the Decker family did confirm that you were hired on good intentions. However, we all know why we don't exactly trust you.
I understand. Magic has been a grand mystery to a lot of people here.
Not only that, but the only magic that we know has gotten our people killed and has twisted our city into what we have now.
Right. Well, to put you at ease, I was born with this power, an overwhelming surge of arcane energy. The people where I come from believe that the Azure God chose me.
The Azure God, meaning the god of the ancient arcane, right?
The very same, yes. They believe that I was chosen by him to, I guess, replace him.
I understand. So they believe that you were born to be a god.
I don't think it's really that simple, but sure.
All right. And you've obtained something because of Feng Mao, is this correct? So that way you can control your powers. This is where we talked about it earlier, where you reassured me that you wouldn't just explode, right?
Yeah, it's called the Azure Core. Feng Mao and me, we went to go search for it. It took us several years to find it. Wasn't really in the same spot it was centuries ago, but we eventually found it. On our travels, we did, however, run into one of his old students. Someone that he never really gave me her name, nor did he really talk about her too much. In fact, he didn't want to talk about her at all. Sorry.
So you ran into her. What did she want?
She wanted to know exactly where the Ravencroft sigil is at. That relic, it doesn't really do much besides possess the user, with the Raven God's powers. The Raven God was a hunter or a huntress, depending on who you talk to.
Gotcha. So on this journey to finding her, he helped her out, I imagine.
Gave her a location and the direction. As far as I know, I don't know where those two are. I didn't hear him. But that is the information he gave her. And yes, after that, we shortly found the Azure core, and I was able to possess its power. Took me several years to obtain it, but as you can see, I haven't exploded.
Okay. And when you came back, Fang Mao helped you attune to it, correctly? I'm guessing?
Yes.
And after you were sent, before you were sent anywhere, was there anything else you can tell us about Fang Mao and his teachings?
Don't really know too much about it. I do know the person after me came in nearly half dead. And I believe you have her name on record.
And who is this?
Her name is Jessica Kalari.
You're talking about Kalari, the great assassin that nearly got our president killed.
Yes, that very same one.
She was reported dead. So you're telling me she's alive?
Well, I guess so. I've been really out of touch with reality. I didn't know you were supposed to know she was dead.
Okay. So let's lead to the point of this whole story.
Right. So as I got to the Decker Foundation, I was introduced by the three founders. Well, I was introduced to the two founders. The third one, they told me, set up his own city in an undisclosed location. I have no idea where that was until recently. But they called him Tyron. The two other people I met was a famous biologist. In fact, he runs his own country too.
Oh yeah. You're talking about Rain Mason, right? The Count?
Yes, Rain Mason, the very same. He was very intimidating to talk to, the very least, and that was before I found out that he was a vampire.
Yes. Very delightful things. Another example of magic killing people. He's forced to take blood.
Yeah, not really exactly the kind of person I thought would be it. And of course, Daniel Decker. The most generous man I've ever met in my life. During my year of staying in the Decker Foundation, we went on many expeditions, me and Miss Decker. I taught her a lot in that year, but I also learned a lot from her, meaning she was able to take trips with her family as a young child, and one in particular, Tyron himself, was particularly fond of. In that location, a normal person wouldn't know where that is. But considering I've traveled in great distance with my master, I know exactly where it is. And I believe that is where Tyron's staying.
All right. So you have it all in your mind. The exact location where you believe Tyron is. I don't want to waste resources on this. Too much at the very least, so. I'll have my daughter escort you. And if you are able to show her the location, she can report in and we'll know exactly where it is and we can send units. This man apparently can topple a whole city in a night. Something that I don't want to take lightly.
Tyron is also known for creating. From what I understand, he created nearly a whole civilization by evolving animals.
Yes. Freaks of nature is what most people call them. In some cases, I've met some of them that were actually meant fighting with and working with. Oddly enough. Is there any other information you can tell me?
Yes. Daniel Decker did tell me that there is something that we need to protect and make sure that they stay intact to keep this planet alive.
Are you talking about the old myth, the four hearts of Alurra?
Yes. He's telling me that it's prophesized that there would be a great evil threatening this. So I just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing by taking someone that has information that could quite possibly destroy this planet.
This is why we need to handle it as soon as possible. All right, Mr. Gideon. You might have hope as it is to be an upstanding citizen of our holy city. I want to send Lieutenant Bellica to escort you to Tyron City. I want you both to report in when you find evidence that he's staying there, and I do not want you to move in. Are we understood?
Yes.
And after this is said and done, I will personally make sure that you are protected. No one will harm you based on the information you give us, and I'll make sure of that.
I believe you. And hopefully I can change your mind about people that use magic.
Only time will tell, Mr. Gideon. Until then, it was nice to meet you, and we'll get started first thing in the morning.